We're back. I'm on business today.
Right.
Oh.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Keeping It Frank podcast show. Welcome back to the Keeping It Frank podcast show with me, your boy, Keston Frank, and I'm happy that you back. And you know who I'm with? You know who I'm with?
Trigger Trey. And
yeah, that's who I'm with. Now, man, how are you doing?
We good. We hot.
We are hot. Hold on, make sure I'm not. We are hot. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of
It's all right.
peeking out,
As long as my hair doesn't puff up and I don't,
Yeah.
My makeup good, so it's not gonna run. You feel me?
Yeah. Makeup
I only get that MAC foundation, okay? So one thing I make sure to spend money on.
How was your week?
Foundation. My week, it was fine. It was chill. I had my first insurance enrollment.
Oh yeah?
Because I told you I sell insurance now,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So
Aflac.
well, yes, and some others. No, I do sell Aflac. I sell all of them.
You said.
Okay. Yeah, so I had my first real enrollment. I went to this doctor's office and had a little presentation.
Oh, so you got money.
Not yet. But
it's coming,
it's starting. We gotta build my clientele. You know what I mean?
Okay, all right.
So I was but when you get the first time jitters off,
Yeah.
Because it's not like doing a presentation is hard for me. It's not like talking to people is hard for me. But it's all right, this is the first time I'm doing it. First time I gotta type everything in. I gotta make sure everything's done right. You know. So then when it was done, I said, "Whoa, look at me! All right, I can do this."
Okay.
So
that sounds good.
Other than that, that and just. Living life,
Living la vida loca.
Yeah. How about you? How was your week?
My week was pretty simple. Work, editing.
Editing. I'm editing as well.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So my work. Yeah, my life was. My week was pretty decent. Can't complain.
Okay.
Not really exciting. Went outside. Couple days.
Stepped outside,
a couple days, yeah,
okay.
and it felt amazing outside. I ain't gonna lie.
Because it's finally warming up.
Man,
that's the thing.
I am ready.
This week, I think it's supposed to be 50.
Yeah.
In the middle of the week, right?
Yeah.
Once the parks open.
Yeah. Only thing I really haven't been working out over the summer. I haven't been working out over the summertime, so I gotta get my workout out now because I'm still I still got over the winter time, so I still got trying to get my summer joint together.
Okay.
Because I'm no shirt.
That's how you're gonna be over the summer.
I'm trying to get back to that.
Oh, okay.
I haven't been on that in a couple summers now. So,
I was about to say a couple days. You had no shirt on the other.
Yeah, a couple summers. I haven't.
I actually lost all my.
Been decent. Put my shit back on.
Wow, I lost all my COVID weight while I was sick. So I'm kind of at least back to the size I want. Now I just gotta build my stamina back up.
Okay. So you're ready.
Yeah, and by the way, when I say sick, I do not mean COVID. I did not have COVID.
Niggas be like,
because now you gotta say that now, oh, I was sick, no COVID. So
niggas be like, okay, so she was sick, huh?
Yeah. Yep. I kind of hinted to it last week, but
yeah.
But I feel like we have to have a travel conversation. But
we'll do that. We're gonna
have a travel conversation. All right, I'll save.
I'm trying to travel. I'm trying to travel some more. I'm trying to get my traveling on. You know what I mean? When that time.
Okay. All right. So I'll bring up my little situation then.
I got you.
We gotta put that on the books.
So Trigger Trey, what's going on? What's on the docket for this episode?
Well, you and I share the creative spirit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, last season we talked a little about online dating and stuff, and I told you I started dabbling with the apps.
Oh, yeah, you out here.
Because while I was down in my sickness,
you're a real regular now.
I was like, you know what? Let me sign up for an app or two and see what's up. See what it's looking like on there. If there's a few people I want to swipe right on, Okay. So the question is, though, being a creative, is it harder to date being a creative? Because I watched something where you ever seen Kevin Samuels? Yeah. He's he gives his opinion to women, to everybody basically, but mainly women about dating and stuff like that. But there was one episode where somebody was an actress that came on there and he was giving his opinion as to what her standard should be. So I wonder if does being a creative make it harder to date
what was his take on her stand? Was she
it was just I feel like being any type of creative, if you're an actress in front of the camera, behind the camera, sometimes your income might not be as stable. But then like you as a woman might want a man that has like 6 figures, real stable, blah, 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 you know? And it's like, and he was saying, well, how can you ask for that when you don't got that?
Yeah, because y'all be having them standards that not even Jesus can meet.
Wow.
Yeah, y'all be out here.
Wow, really? You think so?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like my standards are reasonable.
I've met a couple people whose standards was like, yeah.
You think, but is it that the standards were unreasonable or unreasonable for them?
Maybe for them.
Because that's a real question.
Yeah, because when I sit back and I look at their life, I'm like,
like, were they a joint? You know what I mean? Like, if you was to rate them on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you rank them?
probably a 5.
Wow. Oh. And then they probably had some really high standards for people to see. Yeah. You might need to be realistic.
You be seeing that.
But, you know, but if somebody was like, you know, an 8, 9.
Yeah, but society's not realistic, so you know that's why they be feeling the way they feel.
I mean, I guess true. Yeah. I guess. But what are your standards? You know, what are you reaching for here?
I'm reaching for like Halle Berry.
Wow.
Mixed with
I was about to say you talking about female standards. Okay. You know, but like, do you feel like as a creative person? But I mean, I feel like you and I both, we have a foot on both sides too. I feel like we've had regular jobs. I was just talking about selling insurance, so I feel like I have a quote unquote regular job, and I used to work in corporate at one point. You know, whatever. But there's still that passion of the creativity. So it's like sometimes it might be a little different for us, but leaning more towards the creative end. Like, do you think it's harder being a creative or just hard in New York? That's probably the real question.
Well, it's probably all around though. I mean, think about it, when you see these celebrities that's in like relationships and shit, they usually always end. It's like you don't seem like no long-term relationship, right?
So you think it's the longevity of a relationship being creative versus just the fact of dating?
That's facts.
Interesting.
Kim and Kanye about to get divorced. That's the longest shit she ever had.
I mean, well, true. I mean, they fully got. Well, no, she was married before.
Yeah, she was married for like 2 days.
Yeah. I remember that. I remember that.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
but like, why? So then maybe dating might not necessarily be as hard in a sense. I feel like because if you're around creatives and you work with each other and you like as an actress, if I'm on a set, I feel like that's why sometimes a lot of actors end up dating or whatever, because it's like you work on these things, you get close.
Like you think you have someone who can understand you a little better because you guys are in the same world.
You think that's just it, or like just the fact that we did this scene together and I feel like I had to connect with you on an emotional level because you played my boyfriend. You know,
I think it's the first one. I mean, it could be that too, but I think it's like the fact that, you know, when you have someone that is not a creative, depending on what you're doing, it's a little harder. Imagine if you're like a musician or a singer or whatever the case, and you're always on the road, right? And your partner is always at home. Or for me, I'm a photographer as well. So imagine I'm taking photos of like nude models and shit like that, and my partner can't understand that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think it depends on who you with. That can understand. They have to be able to understand, you know. They have to be able to understand that. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of difficult when you're not.
So it might not be hard to necessarily meet people, but you're saying like it's probably a little bit harder to maintain the actual relationship.
We meet people every day, man.
I mean, true, but I feel like especially, well, we do have to deal with COVID in 2020, but I feel like especially now a lot of people have been saying how dating is difficult, right? And like if you're not necessarily on the apps, where do you meet people? Because that's kind of where it comes down to. Where do you meet people?
Yeah.
And like, if I think about, okay, all of 2020, besides the people that I already knew and hung out with all the time, I didn't really meet anyone new, even the times that I did step outside, you know what I mean? So it's like, how do you put yourself in situations where you could meet these new people? So I guess maybe being a creative and finding people is not the hard part. It's just then maintaining it, because I guess it is about support. But before we get into that, let's take it back to the standards, right?
Standards.
Let's go back to that.
What's your standards?
My standard? Well, I feel like I have
like a mix of like Gandhi and Christ.
Wow. No, because I like a little ratchet. I like a little hood, right? So you got not just Gandhi, all right? No, but like, see, I feel like I have reasonable standards only because I don't think I'm the typical I'm the typical actress. Like, I feel like there's a lot of starving artists.
Yes.
Right? And kind of like I mentioned with the Kevin Samuels comment, it's like if you're looking for someone that has 6 figures and this stable income, then maybe you should have that yourself, right? And I mean, granted, right now could be a little, who knows? But prior to that, I had stable income, right? I feel like I've done well for myself financially, choices that I've made. I don't think I'm ugly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, you light skin, you good.
Wow. Not just because I'm light skinned.
Oh, no,
okay?
no. Just,
come on now. Let's not bring the colorism into here. No. No, but I love all shades of blackness. No, but so I feel like my standards are reasonable. Like I don't have a for me, looks, I mean, I would like someone that I'm attracted to, but I don't have a specific about light skin or dark skin. If you look good in your skin, that's fine. I don't have a specific about if you have waves or locks or whatever, as long as they look good on you. But I would like, I think stereotypically, sometimes women, we want to date up, right? We want someone that is either at our level or above us. So it's like, sometimes I don't know if I can date another creative only because it depends on where they are. Just because of where I am. Like, I do own property already. So should I date someone that already owns property or wants to own property or is about to buy property? I have my own car. Should I date someone that also has their own car? Like, I can, it's like...
I think the standards is different because you're right. Because you deal with a man... and you're driving and he ain't driving. He has his bus passes on the Trillium.
He's going his way, MTA.
That's an issue. You know what I'm saying? So you should have an issue with that.
But so that's the hard. I mean, that's the hard thing, being like a man and a woman and being a creative and then having your standards.
Imagine you gotta go out and you gotta pick him up.
I mean, that's happened.
That's crazy.
I've done that and I've dropped people home.
Were you fine with that? You was good with that?
Well, see,
how you felt at the end of the day?
I mean, ultimately, it would be nice to be picked up once in a while, Like, but to be honest, I haven't been picked up for a date in years. Unless, like, it was, like, my boyfriend and, like, okay, like, well, he's staying over, so we're riding together, whatever. But to be picked up for a date, that's been
Get
years.
y'all stuff together, man.
But then it's also, man. I mean...
Don't have Trail out here picking y'all up.
But it's also New York. Everyone doesn't have to drive in New York. That's the other thing. Like, a guy I went on a date with
yesterday. Go ahead.
Because the apps have been working for me, okay?
What app you was on?
I was on Hinge.
It was on Hinge?
Yes. I used Hinge. Anyway,
oh my God.
So the date I went on, he drives.
Okay.
But he's not from New York. But he lives here now. He lives in Harlem.
How long have you been in New York?
A few years now. But he has his car here now because of COVID.
Gotcha.
Right? So he brought his car up. He's from, like, D.C.
It's right there.
But it's like... he has a car. So it's like, all right, cool. You know what I mean? Where I've dated...
Did he pick you up?
No, we met up.
Oh, because your first time going out?
Yes.
Got you. You don't know if he's crazy or not, because, these apps...
I mean, but that's another thing. Like, you don't know if people crazy, so it's like, can they pick you up for a date or whatever, But, yeah, it was nice to know that he has a car. So if I do ever need a ride home, he can do it. Versus a lot of other people that I've dated, it's been like, oh, you need me to drop you to the train or somewhere?
Now, second date, he'll be like, so, can I come over? I'm going to pick you up.
But I mean, this is definitely going on a tangent. I definitely went on a date with someone. There was a guy I tried to go on a date with, and I asked if he wanted to link up, but I didn't drive this day. I met up with him after work and met up with him. We went out to eat, and then I was like, you can drop me to the train. He definitely was like, well, where do you live? Like, he was asking, and I was like, oh, well, I live in Queens, not too far from Jamaica Station. Oh, nah, I'm not going out there. He said, nah? He literally said, oh, nah, I'm not going out there. And I said, but see, I didn't even ask you. I told you could drop me to Atlantic Terminal and I would have got on the railroad. But now you wanted to volunteer. And I'm like, what? You know what I mean? So, but anyway... the standards I feel like my standards aren't unreasonable because of where I am. Okay. But it's like when I sometimes think about some majority of creatives, unfortunately, that aren't at that A-list actor level or that A-list director or filmmaker or whatever, where you are working consistently and making a consistent income or an influencer or whatever, right? It's like would I then consider you to be a little bit, I don't want to say lower than me, because I don't want to like say I'm higher than somebody else, but you know what I mean? Like,
you talk your shit though.
No, but that's a real thought, because I love my creatives. I want someone that I can connect with.
Got you.
And we can, and that I feel like will understand and support my vision and what I'm trying to do and whatever. But sometimes I feel like that doesn't always have to be another creative.
Nah, I don't think so too. And then you can also have someone who like kind of hate on your shit too. So I mean,
possibly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Would you want to, like, ideally, I guess, be with another creative, or as long as you find someone that?
So growing up, I always wanted someone who has similar goals, right? Like I always wanted to own my own business. I was always a creative, right?
Mm-hmm.
Either I want to sing or act, or I got into art and whatever the case is, right? So I always knew like my path was. I always say this way: I knew my path was gonna be harder than most because I always wanted to be who I wanted to be, right? Like I don't see myself working for the man.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? But yes, I do feel like I wanted to be with someone who is more on. Who's
as driven as
you? Yeah.
Okay.
Either she want to be in business or she wants to. Matter of fact, it don't really matter what you want to be as long as you're driven, as long as you have like high goals and shit.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. You know what I'm saying? Do you have to be a creative? Do you have to be an entrepreneur? Do you have to be a lawyer or a doctor or whatever the case is? I want you to be driven to be somebody.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because that communication is important. Like that, feel like that right there. Like, what are we talking about when we sit down at the end of the day and having this conversation, or being able to motivate and push each other? Like, what does that conversation look like?
But so, I mean, so you would be open if it was like someone that's a doctor, and so like their drive is just maybe whatever their practice, having their own practice or whatever it is. So like, even though it's a completely separate dream and goal, just as long as like they support you and vice versa.
Exactly.
And then, okay, I mean, I can agree with that, because I feel like I'm a supportive person, whatever your dreams are, you know what I mean? But sometimes I wonder if people know how to properly support someone that is in the arts. And I don't think sometimes people do.
I think that's hard. I think that's difficult.
Because like I've even, especially because now that I've been editing my videos and sharing them and stuff like that, it's like people that I either have, even friendships sometimes, or like, you know, guys that I might have had some sort of an intimate relationship with at some point. It's like, how do you show that you support my dream, my vision, what I'm trying to do? Yeah. If you never watch any of my shit, is that really you supporting me? Or is it just that we just have different interests and I should accept that? Or is it like, even like a repost? Is it a liking or whatever, or like talking you up in situations that you can be a part of? Like, so I feel like sometimes what support means something different for everyone.
Everybody's different.
But I do think sometimes in a creative field, like some people might not know how to support an artist unless it's to buy something, but if you don't have money to buy or whatever, like sometimes I wonder if that could be a problem.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a fact, because again, it depends on what that support is for an individual, right? I always say, like, I don't know where I'm going to be. I don't know if I'm going to be in New York, if I'm going to be in Cali, if I'm going to be in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I have to pick up and just go, I'm gone. Okay. How would you feel about that, right? It's like, okay, what's next?
Like someone dating you.
Yeah. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, you know, what I want to be is not the most. I don't think it's the most stable thing for someone who is not
used to that lifestyle or that and that mindset. I mean, true. It might take a special person to kind of like
to
date
sit your
someone
ass at home and, you know, just know that I'm coming back one day.
But not even. But wow, you want to say sit your ass at home? Oh yeah, that sounds so 20th century. Like, sit your ass at home and wait for me, pregnant and barefoot.
I'll be back and shit.
But no, I think that's part of it. Like, I think that kind of is what makes it hard. Like
even for yourself, like you said, like you was basically living in Cali, right? You had an apartment.
I mean, not yet, not the apartment part, but I was going to eventually.
Like you just went out there, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, someone who.
But I've been single, so I didn't have to think about anybody else.
You had light skin homie?
Not then. Wow, we were already broken up. Don't even do it. Don't even do it. Okay.
That's cool. He's a whole rapper. It's cool.
You know what? Anyway, but I mean, like, when you're with someone, that's a different type of conversation. If you feel like you have to up and move or whatever. But yeah, I think dating in general, you always have to find someone that that could be either your opposite or that you can connect with. Mm-hmm. I wonder if, as a creative, if that's just more complicated. Just because usually it's a dream versus it being like a hardcore career unless you make it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, it's always going to be that side passion unless things really pick up. So how does someone fully stand there and support your passion. But you know what I'm saying?
It's your overall, it's your everything. You know what I'm saying? Like when you start looking at things like as a side passion or as a part B or something like that.
I'm talking about it though in the sense of like somebody that might not be in the same field and is looking at you and like, okay, if somebody's sitting there like, yo, I want to be a dope ass rapper. Right? They love music. They want to do it. All right, cool. You know what? I'll support you and say, you want me to listen to some music.
Are you any good?
But yes. But even if someone's good, they can want to be a rapper, right?
Yeah.
And they might not ever make it. Whereas if they go in a different field where it's like, if you want to be a doctor, you get your doctorate, you could work somewhere.
I mean,
you can
don't go from a rapper to a doctor.
I'm not.
You walk up in the spot. Yo, what's going on, son? Yo, doctor. You know, I'm out here.
But the point I'm trying to make is that
what's going on with you?
The point
How you feeling today?
Shut up. The point I'm trying to make is that like a lot of times like the arts isn't looked at as like a serious profession.
No, it's not. Yeah.
It's not. And I've had people that have told me, I told my parents I wanted to be an actor, and they said, no, you need to either go to school for academics, for, you know, not even sports. Like, they didn't even want to consider that. Like, so for the art, but as helpful as the arts are, it's like a lot of people don't see it as something concrete.
Because even in college,
so I think that causes a problem.
Even in college, you have people that come into, the fine art field just because they thought it was an easy thing to pass. You know what I'm saying? And then realize, this is real work. Okay, I'm out.
Because the shit is not easy.
Okay, I'm out.
The shit isn't easy, and I feel like a lot of people wouldn't fully understand. Like the guy that I did go out with, like he is into the arts, and like so it did help. That was one way that we connected. Like we were able to talk. Like I edit, he doesn't edit, but he likes film. So it's like there's still an understanding of stuff. However, I don't mind if I meet somebody else, that's in the medical field, if you're talking to me about like you want to have your own practice and I'm talking to you about like, well, I want to have my own YouTube channel and it be lit. Yeah. Like, hopefully you understand that I'm not a bum. Exactly. One, I still have drive and ambition, and like you still gotta respect me, ho. You know what I mean? Yeah. Respect me, ho. But dating out here in these streets, people are just weird nowadays. But I don't know what people's definition of weird is, but people just be weird.
Weirdo. So like this date you went on, what made it so different than other dates you went on?
I don't date that often. And that was actually what the guy asked me like last night too. He was just like, what was your weirdest date? I was like, honestly, I don't date like that. I don't know. Like, I think people are afraid to ask me out.
And why do you think that is?
From what I've heard, okay, one of my friends told me that she thinks that people see me as like a certain level of attractive, that like they're too afraid to, like I'm too attractive. So they're like,
oh, so you're too bad.
I guess. I don't walk around like that. I mean, I was supposed to say the one you like to look at, right?
T-shirts coming out soon, by the way. Go ahead.
Whatever. Right. Yeah, don't take that. I'm copyrighting that. But it's like, I don't walk around like that, you know? But it's like, that's what I hear. But then I also did hear it from a guy as well.
And what did he say?
A guy that I like dated was like, yo, like, you was just like mad fucking attractive. And I was just like, I don't want to fuck it up, but then he fucked it up.
That's crazy.
And I was just like, you could have just been normal. Like, act irregular. Like, you know what I mean?
So if you guys want to give it a shot, leave a DM.
Wow.
Now leave a comment, you know what I'm saying? DM, whatever the case is, you want to give it a shot. Shoot your shot. You know what I'm saying?
But don't come with like no car. No.
Nah, yeah. Yeah, if you're Metro card, if you have a Metro card and shit, just, you know, make sure you have unlimited at least, man. She want to take a...
Wow. I actually have an unlimited to sell. Does anybody need?
Do?
Yeah. You need to buy an unlimited Metro card?
Huh?
You know anybody that needs to buy an unlimited Metro card? Because I have one I have not opened.
That's crazy.
And I want to sell it before it expires.
Yeah, you should do that.
So giving a discount off of an unlimited Metro card. Y'all let me know if y'all need that. Highlight.
Yeah, leave a comment or DM, whatever the case is, you know.
Such a tangent.
Get that, yeah.
No, but like, besides specifically, I guess, me and my dating experiences, because they're few and far between, I guess. I haven't had that many boyfriends either. I've only had select few. But yeah, I think it's interesting now that like in this space that I'm in where I am pushing my creative side more. Sometimes I wonder how guys I meet will take that. So, I do wonder that.
Okay.
Whereas if I went out and I was like, I work for this credit union, I do financial literacy, I feel like that becomes more tangible versus me saying I'm an actress and I started a YouTube channel.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like even like as an entrepreneur, I always feel like it takes so much work for me. I feel like relationship takes work to build. Right?
Yeah,
and I feel like when you're trying to build something like a business or get your career, you know, even as a creative, get your career on a certain track, I think it's difficult as well. It's hard. Like there's a lot of time put into it.
So you're saying like having time for a relationship and having time to build your career?
It's a little hard. It's hard to balance the two and shit.
So here's my thing, because I'm glad you mentioned that. I feel like a lot of men think it's hard to have a relationship and to also have a career or build themselves up, instead of looking at the relationship as someone to support you through your growth as an entrepreneur.
No, I feel the first way.
No, a lot a lot of men think that way, though. A lot of men. I'm not saying that it can happen with any woman. I feel like you have to have the right one.
I feel like a woman feels like, oh, she's here to support, or she's whatever the case is. But I don't think she takes in consideration what she takes away from the process. Like she wants to be with you 24/7. She wants to be around you.
Not everybody.
Maybe not you, light skin, but she wants to be. She wants to.
I'm not saying I'm not. But too. So the thing is that I'm not saying that every woman is going to be fully understanding.
Okay, that's yeah.
But I will say that there are, when you possibly have a woman that can be understanding of your growth as an entrepreneur and what you're trying to do, most men will say, if I'm not where I see myself being, I don't even want to try a relationship.
That right there is what's hard to find. Then to find a woman who is
not my friend circle.
Not your friend circle.
I don't think so.
No?
I think all of the people in my friend circle, we all either have a certain level of drive and ambition that if we find somebody that also has that drive and ambition, we know then. Like, I don't need to be up under you all the fucking time.
Yeah.
You can do what you need to do. I'm going to go do what I need to do. But yes, let us reconvene.
Because I do not like
at some point.
I do not like that clinging your...
I like my own fucking space.
All up on you, man.
But if you find somebody...
I'd be like, I'm asthmatic, nigga.
But if you find somebody... So there's some women that, yes, want to talk all day, every day, right? You could be with them for years and they still want to text and talk all day, every day. And there's also people that like their space, right? That they want to focus on what they got going on, and then they check in with you. And they can check in with you daily because you were their significant other or someone that they care about. But sometimes when you find someone that doesn't need those long conversations, they just need the check-in, niggas still don't check in. And I feel like that's where you miss out.
Because we gotta check in.
At least, but if you're dating someone and you're with someone, just being like, hey, babe, you know, I thought about you today. Today's been really hectic. How's your day going? That's great. Like, you know, I got to get back to this. Just let you know I thought about you. That's it.
That's it.
I would be like, all right, thanks, babe. You know, I understand. Love you too. Or glad you did that. Hopefully I see you tomorrow or whatever. But people don't even you won't hear from them for like 3 days. And it'd be like, well, hello, wait a minute. Oh, well, I was busy. Nigga, come on now. You had 2 seconds when you walked to the bathroom. You could have just been like, hey, I thought of you.
I really had to go.
I thought of you while I was using the bathroom.
I really had to go.
And I wanted you to know. And sometimes that's really all it takes. And I don't think men realize that sometimes, to be honest.
Maybe you have a point.
I think I do.
You might have a point.
I think
slightly.
I think I do. Because people have hit me.
Yeah, right?
People have hit me with the I've been busy, and I'm like, nah. I understand being busy, but there's always that minute that you get up and get a water or something, and you could just be like, hey, I thought of you.
I guess I'm just not ready to give those minutes up.
You don't want to get, you just want, but I'm sure you have a minute for your homies or whatever.
No, I don't have a minute for them either. I don't give them that minute either. You know what I'm saying?
But I mean that also ties into like communication, right?
Yeah.
Because like dating in general, I think communication is key, and communication is also what fucks a lot of things up. Because when you don't communicate and you don't communicate properly, you miss out on a lot of things.
Yeah, I think communication definitely is big.
That's the main thing.
I like having someone I could talk to. I like having someone I could sit down with. I do like having someone I could sit down with and have conversation with, a dialogue with. You know what I'm saying? So I do think that's important, and that's part of communication. We can't talk, then what are we doing?
I mean, true. I had a guy tell me every minute doesn't need to be filled with words. Mm-hmm. And I was like, you're right, but I still don't know you.
That's what I say. Yeah, that's
trying
big.
To get to know you.
You know what I'm saying?
So I decided to move past him only because he was very attractive, though. Very attractive.
You got caught up.
I got caught up with his attractiveness.
Caught up,
but it was one of those situations where
got me twisted.
I don't even know what song you're singing right now.
I should call it.
I couldn't even understand what you were saying.
Wow.
I didn't understand it.
Butters look confused.
No, I didn't. I couldn't hear it. Whichever. What was I saying? No, yeah, so I was trying to get to know him, and he I would talk to him and ask him questions, and he wouldn't really ask shit back. And I felt like that was weird to me. Like, if I'm talking to you and trying to get to know you, and I say, oh, you have a tattoo. What is that of? What is that about? Or whatever. And you tell me.
They're like, it's a tattoo.
But then would you be like, do you have any? You know? Like, you would ask back, right?
Right.
No?
I'd be like, yeah, I'm a tattoo guy.
Right.
Can I see them?
I got none of that. I didn't get that at all.
Can I see them? Oh, on your lower. Okay. Can I see it?
But I didn't get those responses at all. It was like, yeah, I have this tattoo. I got it because of this.
Aww.
That was it. So sad. And I was like, okay. But communication, I think, is important, especially when you're one of those people that have dreams and aspirations that might not be typical for the other person.
Yeah.
I think you have to communicate as to what support looks like for you, and then what you need from that person and how you can be there for each other.
What does support look like for you? You answered that question. What what does support look like for you?
For me, I didn't answer that. I just said I think it's hard sometimes for people to support creatives, for artists, because I don't think they necessarily know how. So
for you, for the people that's listening to, what do you look for in someone to support you?
I mean, now when it comes to my art form, right? I do think it would be nice when people either tell me that they watch something, and if you don't really want to watch it, if you do, share it just to show the support. People like things and people leave comments and stuff like that, which I appreciate. But then I know there's people that will share something else and then not even share mine. I have friends that are doing a lot of different things.
Yeah.
And anytime I see one of my friends doing something, I try to just share it. Did I fully look into it? Maybe not, but I'll just be like, hey, shout out to you. You got, acknowledged for this or whatever, just to show that I thought of you. I saw you posted this and here's me sharing it.
Gotcha.
Whereas I'm not saying no one has done it for me, but in the majority of where I see other people will share other stuff, and it's but I make videos and my videos are my art and my job, my store, right? In a sense. So it's why can't you also share that? But you share when your friend started, something and might be selling candles or glasses or bags, whatever. You're going to post that. But you don't post my travel videos. But it's that's my store for me.
Yeah.
And like, and I have a guy friend who I used to date, but we're still like really close. Like, it's not anything like sexual, deep, whatever, but like we're still cool. But it's like, I probably don't feel like he supports me in the way I need to be supported, just because like I don't think he knows how.
So he don't watch your stuff, basically. No. Okay.
He doesn't watch anything. He doesn't like anything. He doesn't comment.
What about conversation? Do you guys have conversations about things? I think that's important. I think that's big too. Like for me, like if I put something together, like if I do, you know, like I've done showcases, I've done art galleries, I've done, you know, things like that. Mm-hmm. I like be able to have a conversation like, oh, what was this piece? What was this in the third? Or whatever the case is. Or if I do a video, like even like today, me, you was talking about, you know, doing a video, like doing the episode on something else, mm-hmm. and I had a conversation with somebody about it, and we just had a huge conversation about, you know, mm-hmm. you know, what this means and this and the third, and just looking at it different kind of ways and stuff like that. I think sometimes it's just like the topics, like that topic can just breed something huge within a conversation with two people and stuff like that.
I think just showing interest, though.
Yes, I'm saying. And it's still part of interest, because it's like, mm-hmm. you know, like if you tell me like, okay, but you say, oh, well, I went to, you know, Belize and I've been here, and then all of a sudden that conversation turned into, okay, well, what is that? Or mm-hmm. okay, you may find out more information about it or whatever case is. Since you was there, you got, you know, that knowledge got picked up. So, all right, cool. Now feed me. Let me know what you learned. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm big on learning. So I'm big on, okay, well, if I can feed you, what can you feed me back?
No, 100%. 100%.
So I think that's big.
No, I definitely agree. Like, and I think sometimes people miss out on that, or don't think about that in their friendships or even in their intimate relationships. Yeah. Like just showing interest mm-hmm. sometimes is even enough.
Yeah.
Like there's a guy that like I spoke to, like we haven't gone out or anything, but he works in like physical therapy. I don't know shit about physical therapy. I've been to physical therapy because I had to, but it's like, do I really necessarily care? No, I'm not saying like I'm faking, but it's like the fact of like having interest and I want to get to know you. Mm-hmm. So when you say something, I'm like, well, what is that? Well, why are you doing that? Well, what's then your passion to get mm-hmm. to here? Oh, I get what you're saying. Okay. Like that, even in that conversation, not that I'm like so interested in physical therapy that this is what I want to do, but it's like I have interest in you as a person. So I'm asking, and I feel like sometimes people, they don't do that, and you have these intimate relationships with people, and you don't ask.
And that's big. Like I said, I feel like that's important. Like for me, I feel like, you know, how can you feed my soul? I think two people need to be like two people that come together. Right, you gotta be able to feed each other's soul. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? In different ways, whatever. Yeah. It's like I said, so I'm big on, okay, well, what can I learn from you? Right? Because I can teach you some. Can you teach me back some?
True.
You know what I'm saying? Like, can we learn from each other? Can we grow together? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And that's what growth is. Like every day you're gonna learn something new.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So am I just gonna continue to learn, and you just show no interest, so we're not talking about it? Because eventually, at one point in time, I'm gonna be here, and you still gonna be there, and I gotta move on now.
Right.
So not looking a bad guy because I'm moving on. But I got to move on now. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But then you was keeping yourself in one place. That's what you decide to do.
Right. But I mean, sometimes you do. Sometimes in relationships, if you're not... Sometimes people aren't put in situations where they can move themselves forward, right? Or I feel like sometimes people get stuck. People get stuck because they don't have... when I'm talking about opposites sometimes, right?
All right.
There's sometimes... Sorry, the ginger ale. There's some times that are like, I might not know certain things. And you come and you teach me something.
Yeah.
And the hope is that I'm open to it. So that then I'll be like, you know what? Like, seeing you or what you taught me is making me want to go and try to figure out something for myself. Right? So the teaching aspect is not bad, because someone might not upfront have something to teach you unless it's personal, like maybe just teach you how to be vulnerable, who knows. But it's like, hopefully at some point, maybe what you do drives in the other person to do something.
Exactly.
Eventually. But regardless, relationships are complicated, and it's unfortunate us as creative people, you know, we have to go through these things.
Yeah. I'm looking for love. Not playing.
Yo, I mean, you know, there's Hinge, there's Bumble, there's Tinder, there's... What else is there?
I think sometimes my question is like, why are you on here?
But ask that question.
We gotta have that real quick. Like, why are you here?
Somebody asked me that question the other day on the thing. I never met the man. He just was like, why are you on here? what are you looking for? And I was like, you know, I don't necessarily like to say I'm looking for anything because I don't go out into the street like I'm looking for a boyfriend. I'm looking for a husband.
But then when you go on the app, you're actually
right,
you're there for a particular reason.
But it's like to me, I like to say like I'm open to.
Okay.
Like I'm open to if that comes to me, great. If I end up finding a bunch of new friends off of fucking Hinge, then great. You know what I mean? Like. But I just never like to, because some people when they go out looking, well, I'm trying to find me a man tonight. It's like, bruh, like what?
You're not gonna find it.
I go out to just go out. I look good for myself. Like you know, and if I find somebody that I connect with, great. That's awesome. You know,
it's like the equivalent of like when you go out somewhere. Let's say you go on a vacation, right? And you have no condoms on you. And then all of a sudden, everybody's around trying to.
Wow, you just took what I said and turned it into.
And then when you go out there with condoms on you, nobody trying to.
Wow. You know, on that note, I think that's the end of this episode. Because now we went to vacation and condoms. I was trying to be all deep and like...
You was deep. Yeah, you was deep. Hella deep.
You know what?
You know what I'm saying?
I was talking to real shit and you started talking to bullshit.
There you go. You know what I'm saying? Listen, that's our slogan. I'm saying keeping the frank. We talk that real shit, but that bullshit at the same time. You know how we get down, nigga. You know?
On that note... Hope you learned about being supportive to whoever your significant other is and hopefully communicating. Everybody communicates a different way. Mm-hmm. So it's about learning communication, learning how to speak to someone, how they can receive that information and then how to give it.
Copy.
You know? And art is a real job. Thanks. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Art is a real job.
Yeah, you're right. It's all right. Well, I think moving forward, everybody needs to be supportive of each other and figure out what you want in a mate.
Oh, I know what I want.
And gravitate to those mates that you're looking for.
Someone that's taller than me. That's fit.
Go ahead. She's giving her description. So the comments.
Ideally, I would like them to drive as well. Ideally, I would like them to already own where they live. But if they don't have the ambition to maybe live by yourself, even if you're renting.
Because she has 2 properties, people.
I want you to have a degree. Doesn't have to be a doctorate, but at least, you know. And if you don't have a degree, you know, have your own business or something. You know what I mean? Be doing something. You know what I mean? You know, be affectionate. You can have a sense of humor.
Okay.
But we can also talk about the serious shit, you know?
Yeah. What else?
I want someone that is supportive.
Yeah.
That is caring.
Do you want to be able to do you want to be able to heal people too and
heal people? I think my standards are fine. Make a good amount of money, have a good credit score. If you don't have one, I can help you get there.
Oh, so you help them if the credit score is bad?
You know, if they're worth it, yeah. Only if you're worth it. I've helped a guy I dated fix his credit.
Yeah.
That's how I met him. I met him at a credit counseling. Knew his whole financial report. And then he asked me out. And then I was like, all right. But then I felt bad because when he paid for dinner, I was like, you really need to pay your credit card bill down.
And then what happened with that? Did his credit score got better?
I mean, it did, but we don't talk no more.
Damn. So
he ended up dating my ex's ex-fiance.
Damn.
Isn't that so weird? So weird, right?
So you didn't help him get up.
I helped him get up, and then they started dating, and he gave me some bullshit ass lie, and I had to tell him about himself, and then I don't speak to him no more. But I think that's hilarious. But anyway,
all right, guys. So yeah, listen. As creatives, as entrepreneurs, it's hard to basically find. I don't know. She don't think it's hard, but to find someone who is equal,
certain person.
Yeah, to find someone who, what we say, understands,
and is open to the process.
There you go. So it's hard to really find somebody like that, I think.
Like if I have an audition, read lines with me. You know what I mean? Shit, that's what I mean.
It's a lot. So, but yeah. So, I think so. Listen. We're gonna hope for the best for Traylon to make sure she has that. She get that man she looking for. Know what I mean? You got a couple. No, sorry, I don't put that out there like that. Wow. Know what I'm saying? That nigga she went out with, yeah, that guy. You know, I guess.
Anyway, check out my YouTube at Traylon Husbands
and her Bumble.
I'm packing up my things. I'm leaving.
All right, listen, guys. Thank you again for, of course, supporting Keeping It Frank podcast. You know what it is. We're on iTunes, Spotify, Anchor. And yes, we are now pushing this more on YouTube. So now definitely go on, Third Eye Media Network to check out the Keeping It Frank podcast. We got more shows coming up on there. Definitely follow the Keeping It Frank IG, Keeping It Frank 100 on Instagram. Definitely follow us there. And so Keeping It Frank, we out here. Peace.